Hello. So, I'm about to go book shopping and I haven't actually recorded yet this morning. I was going to do a whole like, oh, we're getting ready, all this, you know, what's the plan, what we're doing. But it's been a bit of a nightmare morning. I've lost all my cards. Couldn't find my masks for ages. I've now found a mask. And it just hasn't been going well, to be honest. It's, yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, but essentially I should have left to go out about 2.5 hours ago, but we're here now. So yeah, the plan is just go into town and go book shopping. It's gonna be chill. I think there's about like 7 charity shops in town. I'll just go into whichever ones I fancy basically. But yeah, that is the plan. I do have a list with me of like books in series that I need to pick up, just because I do try and shop for my books only second hand, especially when it comes to series I've already read and like just want the physical copy. So yeah, there's that, but we're just going to browse, just going to have a mooch. There's quite a few different shops in town and they all have quite a different price range. So I normally go around them, so I go to like the cheaper ones first and then the more expensive ones. It doesn't work out exactly like that because not all of the charity shops are right in the centre of town, some are further out, so we can't do it exactly in that order. But yeah, that is the basic plan. I don't think there's anything else really to say. I guess we should just get going. Bye. Jay is coming to pick me up because I've brought too many books. I've got this and my backpack full, so yeah. Okay, so I'm back from town. I will do a full haul in a few minutes, but basically whenever I get back from town I get either some anti-bacs, or if I've got an antibacterial spray that isn't harsh, then I'll use that at a microfiber cloth. But today it is anti-bacs and I just clean all the books. And to be honest, that wasn't bad at all. You probably won't even be able to tell, but there is some like staining on the cloth, like there's a tiny bit that isn't white now. I just like to do it, I think it's important. So I'm going to do that to all of the books, and then once they're dry I'll come back and show them. I will quickly show there was two non-book related things that I brought from town. So I got this really pretty little like wax melt thing, so it's got the opening here and this on top, and this is actually a Yankee Candle one. It doesn't say the year, but I just thought this was really pretty. And in the living room, you can probably see up here, like our main colour's blue, so all of that wall is blue, and then all of the accents on the wall I'm looking at are blue, and the bookcase on the wall I'm looking at is blue. So I just thought this like orange flare and orange detail with the blue will just look really nice. And then we also got, well, I also got, and Jay doesn't like them, but that doesn't matter, 4 plates. These were 10 pence each, and I will try and take the sticker off. So they're just so pretty. Got like strawberries on, some flowers, some leaves, and these are kiln craft tableware, and they were 10 pence each. And we've basically, since we've been able to see people again, we've realised our set of 4 plates isn't really enough if people are coming round for food. Like, we need other plates to put stuff on. This is the style I like very cottagey and cute. I told Jay I was getting them, and they're only 10 pence each, so really he can't complain, can he? Okay, so they're all clean and dry now. You can probably see quite a few sneak peeks up there of what's going on, but I'm gonna kind of go through all the different books. I think I'm gonna try and do this in the order I brought the books, but I'm trying to remember that, so we'll give it a go. So book 1 was The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton, and this was £1 from Kemp Hospice. On the back this says it is 1866 and Walter Moody has come to make his fortune upon the New Zealand goldfields. On the night of his arrival, he stumbles across a tense gathering of 12 local men who have met in secret to discuss a series of unsolved crimes. A wealthy man has vanished, a whore has tried to end her life, and an enormous fortune has been discovered in the home of a luckless drunk. Moody is soon drawn into the mystery, a network of fates and fortunes that is as complex and exquisitely patterned as the night sky. Sounds interesting. I've heard loads of good things about this and I want to give it a read. I don't have anything else to add. It was £1, I don't know if I said that. And in Acorns I got these two. So these are both in like the kids section, and they do seem like kids books, but I do enjoy these, especially for like readathons and stuff. I enjoy having like a nice quick book to kind of get you from book 1 to 2, especially, well, book 1 to 3, especially if it's like a 48-hour or a 24-hour readathon where you just want to read. Sometimes it's really nice to have like a chill book like this, so I do always keep my eyes open, and these caught my eye. So the first book is Goth Girl and the Ghost of a Mouse by Chris Riddle. Honestly, the reason that this caught my attention was just because of how pretty it was, and there's loads of illustrations on the inside that just look really cool. Let me find one. So here is this really cool illustration, and I just really like the style of it. And then we have this book here, which is Amelia Fang and the Barbaric Ball. This again just looks really cool. There's a pumpkin on it. it looks very like spooky and Octobery, and I have been looking for some October spooky season reads, so this could very well be one of them. This on the back says, meet Amelia Fang. She loves playing gobbling tag and cuddling her pet pumpkin Squashy. She hates going to her mum and dad's boring barbaric ball. Oh, and one more thing. She's a vampire. When the spoilt prince of Nocturnia captures Squashy, Amelia must plan a daring rescue. But things in the kingdom of the dark may not be all they seem. I like the sound of it. Again, just a really sweet, quick book, and this has got kind of sprayed edges, but a lot of them aren't sprayed properly because of the drawings. Yet again, like, I love this sort of illustration, like this very like black and white and simple but impactful. Yeah, so I'm really excited to read this. And these are both 75p each from Sense. After Sense, I then went down to Acorns and these two. So in Acorns it is £2 for £1, and I'm not gonna lie, there was one I really wanted. The second one was free, so I just picked the next interesting one. So the one I really wanted was My Sister the Serial Killer by Unifwen Braithwaite. If that is incorrect, I apologise. I've just tried to look it up on Google and this is what Google says. So yeah, this sounds really interesting. I've seen this around like on Bookstagram mainly, I think, just probably because of how cool the cover looks. And yeah, I will read the back. When Caridi's dinner is interrupted one night by a distress call from her sister Ayula, she knows what's expected of her: bleach, rubber gloves, nerves of steel and a strong stomach. This will be the third boyfriend Ayula's dispatched in self-defense, and the third mess that her lethal little sibling has left Caridi to clear away. She should probably go to the police for the good of the menfolk of Nigeria, but she loves her sister, and as they say, family always comes first. Until that is, Ayula starts dating the doctor, where Caridi works as a nurse. Caridi's long been in love with him and isn't prepared to see him wind up with a knife in his back, but to save one would mean sacrificing the other. Oh, does that sound so interesting? And that was essentially 50p, it's £2 for £1, so yeah. And then I also picked up this one. This is called The Shell Collector. Didn't seem very special, honestly. I wasn't having the best of times finding a second book from there, but the description really got me. A blind man spends his days roaming the beaches of Kenya, collecting shells, classifying them by the feeling their whorls, spines and folds in his fingers. A young woman discovers that she can explore the inner world of an animal's mind by touching its freshly dead body. A refugee from Liberia who cannot escape the horrors that he has witnessed finds salvation in the clandestine act of burying the hearts of beached whales. I still don't know what this is about, but it sounds really interesting and really creepy in a way. I mean, The Shell Collector doesn't sound creepy, but the other two do. So yeah, I'm guessing somehow we're going to see these 3 different people and what's going on with them. Then on from Acorns, I made my way down to the British Heart Foundation, and I ended up getting 6 books from here. These 6, I'm just going to do these kind of as I feel is best. So first of all, I got these 2 amazing old copies of Charles Dickens' work. So this one is David Copperfield and this one is A Tale of Two Cities and American Notes. They're £1 each. I really love like old copies of books and like real genuine like good sturdy books. And yeah, like this is like proper, like the writing is small, everything's cool, everything's nice, and they're so old they don't have a date in them. Like I couldn't tell you when this is from. I could probably try and figure it out, like but literally like all sorts in them. I love books like this and I love this style of books, and I'm slowly hoping to like build this collection of like really nice classic type books. So yeah, that was those two, and they were £1 each. Next, I'm going to do these two at the same time. This is The Switch and The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. These were each £1.50, and I'm not going to go into the back because they're quite long, but essentially The Flat Share is about a man and a woman who share a flat. One of them works nights and one of them works days, and they've never met each other, but they literally share the same bed. Whilst one of them's at work, one of them's sleeping, the other one goes to work and the other one comes back and sleeps, and it's basically to get like cheap rent. I know this is like a romance book, so I assume they're going to meet at some point or something. But yeah, that's all I know about it. And The Switch I know even less about, but I know that there's a woman and her grandma, and for some reason, for some amount of time, they're switch houses. That's all I know about it. So that's how I'm keeping it. But obviously I'll put the description up here now, so if you do want to read it you can pause the video here. But for me, I'm leaving it at that. And then I got The Glass House. I've seen this a few times in different charity shops and been close to picking it up, but then this copy looked so brand new and pretty, and like it has been read, like there's cracks in the spines, but really good condition. And this was £2. I know there is little about this. It says the truth can shatter everything. When the Harrington family discovers an abandoned baby deep in the woods, they decide to keep her a secret and raise her as their own. But within days, a body is found in the grounds of their house, and their perfect new family implodes. Years later, Sylvie, seeking answers to nagging questions about her life, is drawn into the wild, beautiful woods where nothing is quite what it seems. Sounds interesting. I want to read it. There's nothing else to say. And then last but not least, this is kind of one that I think sounds interesting, but is more Jay's vibe, and I called him whilst I was in the shop and we both like the sound of it, so I will just show it. So this is The Quantum World, and it's written by New Scientist Internet Expert. I don't know if it's actually got one particular author. No, it doesn't look like it's credited to any particular author, but it's essentially about the world and the universe in quantum level. It sounds really interesting. There is loads of information on the back, so again I'm going to put the back up now, and if you do want to read more you can pause the video here and have a good read. It does sound really interesting. I mean, literally this says forget everything you thought you knew about reality. But yeah, do read it if you think you like the sound of this sort of book, because it sounds really cool. And this is £2. Then from there I went to St Richard's Hospice and I got 2 books from there. So basically the route I've gone so far, like that I've been showing you the books from, is cheapest to most expensive, walking one way into town and then like the books in town. So essentially whichever way I walk into town, there's 2 of the cheapest charity shops, and then I like go round the centre of the town in like cheapest to most expensive order, and then on the walk out of town there's the other 2 cheapest charity shops. Hopefully that made sense. But yeah, so this is the most expensive charity shop, so I did only get 2 books from here. This one is More Than This by Patrick Ness, and this was £1.95, which is actually a pretty good price for the shop, to be honest. And I don't know if they're lowering their prices because I've realised, but both the books I got this time were £1.95. So a boy drowns, desperate and alone in his final moments. He dies. Then he wakes, naked and bruised and thirsty but alive. How can this be, and what is this strange deserted place? As he struggles to understand what is happening, the boy dares to hope. Might this not be the end? Might there be more to this life? Or perhaps this afterlife? Sounds really interesting. I still haven't read a Patrick Ness book. I do own the first book to one of his trilogies, but I haven't got round to reading it, and I've heard a lot of good things, and I've actually specifically heard good things about this one before, as like I'm pretty sure it's a standalone. So yeah, excited to get round to it. And then the other book I got, I won't be reading from. This is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. Now Robin Hobb has loads and loads of books, and especially loads and loads of books in this collection of world. There's at least 16 books in this world, at least when this edition of this book was printed. This is book 2. I don't own book 1, but I want to slowly collect them. I am happy to pay full price for these. It is a massive series I really want to read, but I'm not going to even start to read it until I've got all the books. So whilst I've got other priorities, I always keep my eyes open, and if I see a Robin Hood book in a charity shop, I'll pick it up. This is only the second book that I've managed to see in a charity shop, so this is a big long list, and like loads of them are in this same world and series. So this one is Royal Assassin, which is book 2 in the Fraser trilogy, and then if we go all the way down here, I've also managed to find The Dragon Keeper, which is book 1 in the Rain and Wild Chronicles. All these seem separate, but they're all part of the same world, and I think there is a massive reading of Robin Hood books going on at the moment, but I didn't start it and I'm not up to date with it at all. But yeah, this is one I really want to get to and read at some point and read the whole thing. I don't really know a lot about the order you read them in. I think it's just publication order, but they're all part of the same world, and there's characters that show up throughout even though the books aren't technically related. I don't know, it's big brain stuff, and I've heard after the first book, if you read the description like on the back, the little hints, it can give a lot away, so I'm literally not even looking at it. I don't want to know, I don't want to fuck it all up basically and spoil myself. Then on the walk out of town, I went to the next charity shop. I think it's called something like the Forces Support or something. I got these 2 books and I got them for 50p each. So this first one is Around the World in 80 Days. I saw the movie of this when it first came out and really enjoyed it, and I knew it was a book and I've never seen it in person. I saw it in person, it was 50p, and this seems like a really good copy. I don't think this has ever been read, to be honest, just from looking at the book. This edition was published in 1993 and I don't think anyone ever read it, and the book was first translated and published in English in 1968. It sounds interesting, I've seen the film, I want to read it. The War Poets, an anthology. And this is just a series of war poems written by different people. Sounds really interesting, looked really interesting, and it's super small. This again was 50p, but it's just the type of book that I think could look cool on like a shelf where it's a collection of older books, and that is something that I'm aiming to get to, so I picked it up. And I really enjoy poetry, they're really nice to read every so often. Sometimes I'm just in the poetry mood, and I don't think, well, until now, I didn't own a poetry book that I haven't read. I only own like 3 poetry books, but yeah, so picked it up, really happy with it, and I really like the cover, like it's very nice and shiny. Then, last but not least, this was the most exciting find. So on the way out of town, I went to Happy Staffy Rescue. We love Happy Staffy Rescue, we actually like volunteer there, we volunteer dog walkers for them. But went to the charity shop on the way out of town and found Bitter Blue by Kristen Cashaw. Probably when this video goes out, I will check my spreadsheet to see how far behind editing other videos I am. I'm so behind. Basically, I could have already read this by the time this video goes out. Yeah. So basically, there's a big readathon going on at the moment called the Grace Thing Along. And book 1 was Gracing, read that last month. Book 2 is Fire. I'm reading that currently, that's the August book. Book 3 is Bitter Blue, which is September's book, which means I've now found the first 3 books in charity shops, and I think it's really cool. I don't think I'll find the last book in a charity shop because it's only just come out like this year, but I'll keep my eyes open for it. I've got another month to look before I need to read that one. And yeah, I'm not going to read the back because it's the 3rd book, and I love finding books in charity shops that you're like literally actively ready to read, because it's so exciting, and that's part of why I love shopping in charity shops. Obviously it's amazing that it's cheap, and it means I can read a lot more because I can physically have more books because I can afford more, but also like the hunt and like finding that like book you've been searching for, it's really fun and it's really cool. So yeah, that was all of the books that I got today. Honestly, it's a lot more than I was expecting to get. If you're still watching now, let me know, do you like this style, how I did like the vlog type footage at the start of going round and then showed the books that I brought as like a big haul at the end? Or would you prefer me to put the footage in the shop and then the books I got in that shop and then the footage from the next shop and then the books? Let me know, because I wasn't sure how to structure this and I've gone for this, but I could do either in the future. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. If you would like to see more content like this, please do consider subscribing down below, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.